Audionovelas 2.0, jiji.
Yes, he said, it's important to explain things to her slowly, so that her mental health is fine and she doesn't faint again. He seems to care a lot about her health, Miss Elsa. Ga, that's not fair. Well, now I'm somewhat calm. Don't make him wait any longer and let him in. Well, I'll tell her to bring her future husband in, ha ha ha. Oh, damn. Ray, Elsa seems to be calm, it can happen now. Thanks Argus. I think. I'm a little nervous, but I have to stay calm. The night before I spent thinking about everything that happened, and maybe I took advantage of Elsa's situation, but I really want her, whatever happens. Upon entering Elsa's room, Elsa was sitting on a chair. I could see that her cheeks were slightly red. How pretty she looks, apart from the shirt shows her curves, it's as if it highlighted her natural beauty. We stared at each other. 3 seconds have passed. This is starting to get uncomfortable. I have to say something. I think, if this continues like this, everything will be complicated. I will have to appeal to feelings. I went over and sat on the bed. I take a deep breath and talk to you calmly. Listen to me, Elsa. I know that all this you are going through is too much. You even fainted. First, good morning. You were able to sleep well. Yes, thank you. It was very comfortable, King Gabriel. Well, it can be awkward, but could you stop calling me King? Just call me Gabriel. This, Gabriel. That way of saying my name is so adorable that it makes me smile. I have some questions for you, Elsa. The first question I want to ask you is about the day to pay respects to the dead. It is mandatory that you have to go. Yes, it is an obligation that is passed from generation to generation. I understand. The other question is about your commitment to that King Barton Arkan. I can see that Elsa got a little tense. But with a serious voice I ask Elsa. Commitment to Barton Arkan is something you want? The betrothal was something my father arranged with Barton Arkan's messenger. Well, but my question is if you want to marry him. No. King Barton Arkan has a bad reputation and is said to beat his women. I understand. I have nothing more to say. I get out of bed and with a bright smile I speak to Elsa. Very well, Elsa. I think it would be better for you to go out and get some fresh air. Come on. I don't want to lock you up. Let's all go together. I think it was not necessary to appeal to feelings. I think everything will be fine. I hope everything goes well. With a slightly shy face, Elsa goes out to the room of the great room and is surprised to see her allies, all changed and some were playing board games. Elsa with surprise begins to look at the whole environment and speaks. What is all this? Some turned and greeted Elsa, but those who were playing were so focused on their games that they ignored everyone around them. I think they really got used to it too fast. I wonder if this level of adaptation has something to do with their race. On the other hand, I think they have a different meaning than what it means to be a king, but I'll leave them for later. Currently I'm comfortable with the way they speak to me. It's like being on Earth. Somehow it makes me happy. Those who noticed Elsa began to approach Elsa while saying, Miss Elsa, look at this game, it's very entertaining. Miss Elsa rested well, Miss come play. Elsa with an uncomfortable smile asks them, and, maybe they don't see this place, and your Lara get down from that place. Something annoying scolded a beast woman who was lying on the chair, but the other way around, she had her head where her feet went and her feet where her head went. The girl named Lara got scared when she heard Elsa angry and turning around like she was some kind of armadillo. She got off the chair and stood up straight. I almost laughed. It was quite cute and funny. Elsa, still upset, begins to scold them. You are all like children, stop playing and behave like adults. Don't you see that King Gabriel is in front of you? It is disrespectful to show such impoliteness. The others respond to Elsa. Well, you see, the king said he didn't care and it's more comfortable for him if we only see him as a friend. Yes, Miss Elsa, the king is kind, he wouldn't get angry. Elsa looks at me with a pouting face. I think she wants to tell me why I'm spoiling them. Lara approaches with a glass of grape juice and passes it to Elsa as she tells him. Miss Elsa, you just woke up, it's not good for your health to be screaming so early, please drink this. Elsa, intrigued by the color of the juice, brings the glass closer to her nose and begins to smell it. Apparently she liked the smell. She tries to take a small sip from the glass and her eyes widen. What is this? It's delicious. Yes, this Miss Elsa is called grape juice. Elsa with shining eyes begins to speak. Grape juice, the grapes we got could be used to make these types of juices, I'm impressed. Lara seemed somewhat uncomfortable. Well, maybe you don't remember it well since you were escaping with the other non-combatants, but all the food we brought back was burned by the humans. So Lara, where did you get this delicious juice from? Lara looks at me and then Elsa starts to do the same. I just answer with a smile. Elsa looks at the glass, then at Lara, then at the glass, and then looks at the others who were drinking. They were pouring more juice without holding back. Finally she looks at me and freezes. After a few seconds, it seems that his mind has processed everything and he leans towards me. Mew, thank you very much, for your hospitality, I swear I will return this hospitality one day. Woohoo, his tone changed to a formal one, I didn't expect that, it makes me feel uncomfortable. Lara looks at me as if asking me for help. Listen to me Elsa, right now you are my guests, and I would feel bad if you went hungry or something similar. Just take it as a sign of my selfishness and there is no need to show a formal tone, besides I told you to call by my name. Ah yes Gabriel. How cute. Elsa blushes and Lara looks at me somewhat surprised. I think, whoops, perhaps what I was thinking escaped from my mouth, or, I know. Elsa, look at these games, you ever played some of them? And, no, I don't know what they are. Look at this board game, it's called checkers, the game is simple. After explaining how it's played, some of the others played against Elsa. At first Elsa didn't understand, but he quickly took advantage and easily beat them. I think she's pretty smart, I wonder how smart she really is, or, it's been 30 minutes already and she's playing against two at the same time, but I think she's concentrating too much. Maybe she's using it to escape from reality. I wonder if she'll get used to it as fast as the others. I try to call her, but she is so focused that she doesn't even notice me. I give a light applause and call her with a little force. Elsa jumps when she hears the noise. What's up, King, what's up? I think, yes, she was running away from reality. Now that she's back she's still just as tense. Elsa, it's almost noon, I wanted to ask you if there is something that you cannot eat. In some religions I know that there are some forbidden foods. No, we usually eat almost everything. That's good, G1, come. Elsa, seeing the battle automaton G1, remains somewhat tense. G1, gives me the food notebook and I approach Elsa. Elsa, look at this. Woohoo, what is that? Maybe it's food, how is it possible that it looks so real? He has bright eyes, those eyes are the eyes of a researcher. This is a food notebook, in this notebook you have photos and names of the meals and desserts that G1 can prepare. Since you don't know the names of all the meals and desserts, I hope you will be guided by the images. Elsa carefully observes the food and dessert notebook, the others stealthily approach and spy on the food. Elsa points to an image and asks me what it is. It looks delicious. That is a fruit salad, it has a variety of cut and peeled fruits. Currently, it has oranges, apples, grapes, bananas, and a little strawberry. Apart from that, if you want it a little sweeter, you can add a little honey or sugar. As she listened to me, I could see Elsa's desire increase with each word. I think she will start drooling. Goo, I want it, Po, please, I want this fruit salad. Me too, and me. The others raised their hands quickly. I think I have a good amount of fruits stored in a magic bag that can stop time. I even think I can have 1 or 2 tons saved, as the amount increases every day. It's hard to calculate. Before it was just me, for that reason the amount increased no matter how much I ate or wasted. Besides, my automata don't have the need to eat. In order to feel better, I added sense of taste to Zero and to his brothers and sisters with Eva together. They can eat food, but they're not really eating. It's an ability that I was able to get it from the slimes. At first it was somewhat complex to get since I had to be touching their core, and since their core was inside them, they used their disintegration and absorption ability to dissolve my hand, causing me pain. At least I was happy to be able to see Eva and Zero eat next to me at the table. I stayed in my thoughts. Everyone is looking at me with some concern. It's okay, we're all going to eat a fruit salad for lunch. G1, start with the preparations. When everyone heard me, they were happy, and with a smile I say, and prepare some honey and sugar as a dressing. With this they went from happy to delighted. Hi, they are so easy. While G1 was preparing the fruit salad, Elsa approached the living room window and was petrified by the sight. What she was seeing was the garden of the apartment complex. She stood looking like a statue for a few moments. Even I was starting to worry. From the impression Elsa stopped breathing, I called her. Hearing me, Elsa reacts, taking a deep breath, and asks me with concern. Where I am? Perhaps I have died and I am in the garden of the goddess. Ugh, ha. Seriously, Elsa, sometimes you say funny things. Bulletin, but, look, it has beautiful fruit trees, the floor is perfectly arranged, it has flowers of all colors, arranged in a row. All this could only have been done by the goddess. Ugh, ha. Seriously, Elsa, you're so funny. Will you stop laughing at me? I'm serious. Yay, sorry, this is a product of gardening. What is gardening? Oh, it's true. Well, gardening is the art and practice of cultivating gardens. It consists of cultivating, both in an open and closed space. One can grow different types of plants such as flowers, trees, vegetables, either for aesthetics or tastes. Woohoo, that sounds amazing. Who owns the art of gardening? Well, I'll tell you, I prepared these. Ooh, you. Yes, but wait a second, I'll tell you how it all happened. I had a friend named Wheelie. I met Wheelie while working. When I was working I heard some gossip. It was about a new gardener called Wheelie. From what I understood, this Wheelie looked like a character from an animated cartoon. The information was vague, but it was enough to get my attention. I usually wasn't interested in gardening, that's why I never went to see the garden. When I went to see Wheelie, I was surprised, not because of his appearance, which was normal. I was surprised by the level of gardening that he had. The plants were arranged perfectly, everything was beautiful, but Wheelie was a bit antisocial. While I was going to see his creations, little by little he was telling me about gardening. Soon after we became friends. I even got to have a garden in my own house. I never thought it would be so satisfying to have your own garden, but a few years later, Wheelie died. He was murdered in a robbery. I swore on his grave that I would have a garden that Wheelie would be proud of. I practiced a little every day. I even went to gardening classes just to get to his level. Elsa was a bit sad and somewhat confused. When she was about to speak, G1 arrived with a couple of large glasses of fruit salad. Elsa averts her gaze and looks at them as if she were a hunter with his prey. He quickly sits down and waits for the pole that became the meal to be served to him. With this amount I'm sure they would fill up. I sit next to Elsa and ask her while I'm holding the little pot of honey. Elsa, you want me to add a little honey? Elsa, with bright eyes, nods repeatedly. As I add the honey, Elsa looks at the honey as if it were something sacred. With deep care Elsa grabbed the spoon and ate a bite. Elsa started to tremble for a few seconds and showed a big smile. After seeing Elsa smile like he was in heaven, everyone else started to eat and asked for some honey. They are like kids in a candy store. This reaffirms my assumption that they don't know what a real king is, although I don't care, for now I'm having fun. After eating I suggested they go out to the garden of the apartment complex. they just nodded and walked obediently. I think their personalities change when Elsa is with them. I wonder if she's the strict type. First I have to explain how the apartment complex is. In total the complex measures 100 meters long and 1000 meters wide in its entirety. The complex measures 50 meters long and 25 meters wide. It is in the middle and almost close to the street. I say almost, because the complex has 3 meters distance from the street occupied by 100 meters of wooden gates including the main door. It may seem weak compared to the magic reinforced damask steel, but this wood was created with the tree monsters that I defeated in the dungeon. I was even able to add improvement that you will soon know. If we include the complex, the garden of the complex is about 60 meters wide and 100 meters long, and another 50 meters wide that the complex is dividing into two, because it is in the middle. When we went out the back door of the apartment complex towards the garden everyone was surprised, but the most surprised was Elsa. She literally stopped breathing and stared into the garden. I think, this is already starting to worry me. I'll have to warn her, that when she's surprised by something, she shouldn't forget to breathe. In the middle of the garden, there are several flowers of different colors perfectly arranged in circles 1 meter thick. The circle measures 25 meters in diameter with 1 meter of flowers of one color. Then in the diameter of 24 meters, there is 1 meter of path so that they can walk and see calmly. Then at meter 23 there is another meter thick of another color of flowers, and in this way consecutively the great circles of flowers close until they reach 5 meters in diameter, and in the center a table of 4 meters in diameter divided in half by a line of 50 centimeters, and in the center a hole of 2 meters in diameter. In summary, it is similar to a poke ball. It is built that way to be able to eat from both sides of the table at the same time, and it has several monster tree wood sillas, which was modified, so that it seems that it was created by nature with that shape. Of course it has comfortable cushions to sit on. Apart from it has a path of 4 meters in diameter directly to the center. Also the garden walls were lined with fruit trees planted every 4 meters away from each other. The trees had a diameter of 2 meters each. This can vary, but in centimeters from each other. I ask Elsa something so she can react. And Elsa, what do you think of one of my gardens? Hey, yes, it's beautiful. Thank you, that makes me happy. Those same words were the first ones I said to my former friend. This was his dream and now I carry part of it. With a smile, he grabbed Elsa's hand and guided her towards center field. Elsa and I walked together towards the center of the central garden. Elsa had rosy cheeks while looking at the colorful flowers. When we reached the center with a relaxed voice, I tell her, in this place I like to come and forget everything for a few moments. In this place I can feel how beautiful nature is. There were even some moments where I relaxed so much that I fell asleep. I go back a little towards the path and call Elsa to come closer, and then I tell Elsa to say, "Bloom little flower petal and show me your true colors." Elsa, repeating my words, is surprised to see how the central garden begins to change. The central table is hidden underground and is replaced by green grass. Still holding Elsa's hand on the way to the center of the grass, the path we came from and those that were available, were changed by flowers and roses. The roses were in the diameter of 24 meters in diameter, where the path used to be. Now there are roses. After a few seconds the center garden changed to a perfect circle of flowers and roses. Elsa was completely delighted. Elsa, there is still one more way, but you will have to wait for it to be at night, when the darkness tries to hide this garden. It is when this garden shows its true beauty. Elsa looks at me with big eyes, and speaks to me shyly, there is still more to go, this is already too much. I reply with a smile, Elsa, when passion and a great will are combined, what is too much is not enough. Lolo, I'll be waiting. And I forgot to tell you that you can change the colors. Don't look at me with those eyes, they seem like they're looking at a complete stranger. Approach the flower and touch it while imagining your favorite color. A little confused, Elsa tries it, and when she opened her eyes, she was fascinated to see how the flower she touched changed from purple to pearly white, and every second the flower that was next to her changed color to pearly white. this was repeated until completing the 1-meter wide circle. I think, now that I remember the others where they are, they are waiting at the door, they are surprised, but it seems they won't move if I don't give them permission, at least they respect other people's things. If I tell them they can use something, they use it as if it's normal, but if I don't tell them anything, they won't touch it or ask if they can use it first. That's good. Now Elsa, tell her, close your little petals. When Elsa repeated my words, the center field returned to normal. I stretch out my hand to the bent Elsa and she takes it and we return together with the others. I inform the others that they can walk and play in the garden and try not to step on the flowers, and that they can say hide to hide the central garden, and it arises, it is used to return the central garden. While I was speaking I received a telepathic message from Eva. Honey, the preparations for the day of the solar eclipse are ready, and apparently T1 and T2, they went out of the maximum range with which I can connect, now they are on their own. Elizabeth asked a few questions, but nothing important, besides I have a little surprise for you when they return. I think, a surprise, that's interesting, his surprises always satisfy me, sometimes too much. When I looked around, everyone was scattered. Some girls and boys were looking at the flowers, others were eating the fruits from the trees, some were just climbing them for fun, but Elsa was by my side, and she was looking at me somewhat uncomfortable. Elsa, excuse me, but you asked me something. And, yes, I wanted to ask you something. Hehe, excuse me, I was deep in my thoughts. Well, ask me what you want. Thank you, I wanted to ask you something about your kingdom. What a thing, Elsa. Well, it is that, I have read many books and studied about the outside, but I have never seen in any book or anyone that talks about the Mecha kingdom. The truth is a bit complicated to answer, but my kingdom is a literally new kingdom, so I don't think you will be able to find them in the books. I understand. Elsa had the face of wanting to ask more things. Elsa, why don't you have a little fun with the others? Now I have something to do and I'll be back in a few hours. Good, thank you. After that I went back to my base and started talking to Eva. Hello Eva, you missed me. Every second baby. Ahaha, now that I remember I sent one of my puppies to help Clara. Honey, they're not puppies. But Eva, just by looking at them, one can see that they are beautiful. Honey, I'm sure any living thing would think otherwise. You're sure, but if they are sweetheart, when I play with them, they show their belly and wag their tail like a cute little puppy. Well, putting that aside, darling, tell me, are you sure you're going to her village to meet Elsa's parents? What can I say? She herself said that she had to discuss it with her father, and the others also told me that the engagement that Elsa had with that Barton Arkan guy can only be cancelled by their king himself. I understand that, but there is something that bothers me. I'm sure they don't know the concept of king, I'm sure they call the leader of the town king. That bothers me. Putting my love on the same level as a simple head of the town is outrageous. Ha, yes, you're absolutely right, but Eva, for now I'm having fun and it will be temporary. Apart from if they accept my proposal, their own village chief will discipline them or Elsa herself will plow him, although I feel that they lack some sanity, but as long as they stay out of it there will be no problems. Dear. What's going on, Eve? I have a petition. What do you want, Eve? It's just that I'm worried. Tomorrow you'll go accompany the beast people and protect them from the eclipse monsters, and I want you to bring a squad of automata and at least one of the Zero brothers. I understand, and Eva, they also say that new monsters that don't normally appear will appear. If you can, I wish you could catch them alive. As you wish, darling. If they are new monsters, these same ones can be useful. I hope with all my heart that they at least have a new ability. I, Eva Estrella, will do everything I can and capture as many as possible. He, thanks Eva. Then I returned with Elsa and the others and we began to talk about what would happen tomorrow. From what I understood, the eclipse begins at noon, when the sun is at its highest point, and there was one thing that made me a little uncomfortable, and that is that she will have to pray for 30 minutes, and that, Even if she finishes praying, the eclipse lasts for 3 hours in total. Another thing that I don't like is that the monsters that appear with the solar eclipse will disappear along with the eclipse. I was thinking about that part for a long time, and the only thing I could deduce is that these monsters could be the same as the ones in the dungeons and temporary ones. Before going to sleep, I talked to Eva. I sent the new monsters that I can capture directly to where I am, that they will disappear like the monsters in the dungeon when the eclipse ends, and that it is important to take all the skills possible before the eclipse ends.